hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is VOS coming back to now. Today, Sunday, January 30th, and we welcome everybody as usual and hope people will be interested in making the usual contribution. We get quite a few topics lined up. The main topic today will get for be the cotton tree catching on fire and whether the cotton tree get any usefulness in present day Sierra Leone. But that's not what we will start with. We will start with the return of the soccer, the Leone Star, and how they receive them, how we think see them before receive them. And then we'll get many other topics lined up we'll get for discuss topics of national issues. So, as usual, I name Mohammed Shilon. I'm a lawyer in North Carolina, as well as my co-host today, Mr. Kutubu Kuroma, who we normally can refer to as Professor Kutubu. So we other co-host is on sabbatical or is on vacation of some sort, and will be out for the next 2 or more weeks. So, but that said, we hope the topics will be of interest to una. We go allow una for participate as usual. Now, we also get the numbers them, what we also can give una ahead of time for making a call. So as time goes on, we will project the numbers on the screen, and we also go make una know. Okay, as a matter of fact, we'll get the numbers and now we'll get a toll-free number winner 1-866-944-7722. 1-866-944-7722. And then the toll-free number. Then we'll get a UK number winner +44 203 239 9581. +44 203 239 9581. Then we also get an Australian number +61 280 064 352. +61 280 064 352. And last but not least, we get the WhatsApp winner 1-343 997 5828. 1-343 997 5828. So we hope when I go put to use wherever on a day for call two of their numbers here, so when I can express your views or make comments or ask any questions we want to get. Now my co-host, as I said, Mr. Kutubu Kuruma, usually referred to on this show as Professor Kutubu. So I'll turn him over to introduce himself, then we'll go back to the topic. Professor, back to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Shilon. I mean, the introduction has been done, so we welcome everybody on the show, and we hope say we all go, join in it will be an interactive discussion. And but like you always can say, I wonder we'll be in an atmosphere of mutuality, meaning that we the presenters will get respect for the audience, and in like manner we expect people them for also get respect for anything we not discuss at this forum here. Once the dynamic could put the topics and let people then see them. We expect things that want to discuss will be pertinent to this now. We not expect things that we take it from out and bring them inside here. That will kind of put it off balance. So with that, back to the lead host, Mr. Shilon.
Okay, now on the top of the agenda, now the return of the national soccer team from the African Cup of Nations last match we didn't get against Equatorial Guinea. And of course, we all know say we lost the game by 1 goal, or Equatorial Guinea win the game by 1 goal. And but for just plain what we will call bad luck, it could have been a tie because we had a penalty where we not score. Usually, penalty is a sure equalizer, But I think luck was so against us that even when we get a penalty, that could have tied the game to a 0-0, that would have made it a perfect record of having tied with Algeria and Ivory Coast and then Equatorial Guinea. But unfortunately, we now meet that goal there. But which is quite different from the level of performance of a team. The performance has been exemplary. I mean, it's been wonderful in all three matches. So win or lose, I don't think that is a reflection. First of all, anybody will understand anything about sports. You go into the competition with the belief and the readiness to win. But anybody who knows anything about sports say there is also always, no matter how good you are, the possibility of losing. So sports involve give and take. You cannot be victorious all the time. There are times when in sport, competitive sports, tennis, soccer, uh, any other kind of game, where the better team can lose to the weaker team any given moment. Okay, and sometimes these are uh, forces beyond people in control. You know, if you take a penalty kick, you never miss penalty kick one day, you miss them. Or you never miss them one day, you kick and the keeper save them. So things happen. So we just have to accept the results. All we get for do, what we can assure ourselves now for go in, play the best we can. Now, so what we see by way of observation, the video that what we see, we not notice any serious official or high level welcome or welcoming of the team of the Leon Star as the previous two games them. You know, people were happy to see them. They tied, they not lose. So this time we'll not see the top guys, the Agbagbas them. They are welcoming them when they arrive in the net. We did see some low level, some people who could presume in a low level officials them. Maybe people them we see I'm a man them, but we now see the high scale of the other people that we did not meet before when they tie the two previous games them. So we just take the position, say this not tell well on the country in terms of how would the treat players them who are out there making the fame for we country and putting our countries on the map. Okay, these people deserve a bigger welcome than we see. You know, I think in fact, since they were coming home at the end of the competition because they've been knocked out, they were even entitled to being received with a national anthem or some kind of a grand finale for let people and be proud of representing the country, win or lose. But not to that we just see other people there welcoming them and glad for them, that kind of thing there. So we hope the officials then will put some more spirit into how to manage their national teams there, particularly the way soccer or football now will main sports. Let will make them feel proud when they come back home, and let will welcome them with open arms, and let will try for educate the people and say, not to always we will win. And let will be gracious when we lost, as much as we will be gracious when we win. Unless we try for condition with people in mind, for let them accept defeat, it will be the wrong attitude we would take for deal with the players them. I also think say this does show we also say we get talent at the country. No doubt about the fact that we get soccer talent in the region. Gambia, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Liberia, we all get top soccer talents because the area is just gifted with soccer players. The thing is how we raise or manage or nurture the upcoming soccer players here so they can put the country on the map. We're not too small for win the African Cup. We're not too small for win the World Cup. We're not too small for even go quarterfinal, semi-final, now the African Cup, or now the World Cup competition. So now we get for raise we own belief and we own confidence level to that level there. And then so next time will be a force to be reckoned with. So I they suggest to officials then and to we people that we get power, we get control over the waves or the media for try for condition people in mind how for treat athletes them generally, but in particular with athletes them when they go out and play any game, whether na run then they go run for we, whether na football then they go play for we, for let we learn for appreciate them. And the other thing also what I want to suggest, the big guys, the people who get the power, would you see awards are being given to certain people in the country. When we give awards them, particularly national awards, now for demonstrate with appreciation. So it would be nice if we begin to see football players them begin to get national recognition, for their contribution to the country. So that said, I pass it over to you, Professor Kutubu.
Thank you so much for the way you lay out, the case. Now, may they roll back, not to so much, in fact, the reception was not properly granted, and they roll back to even the reception waiting one of the players suffer, where they go in place there, they kind of actually, that kind of a spectacle they will see, not to gamemanship, and it totally abhorrent. I mean, especially, it may the Agbad and the creator, but of all the political parties, will roundly condemn Dandy. But what you see so, again, like we already talked, not just the symptom of a bigger problem. We will take our back into the politics where we know they accept defeat. You see, that now they can't warm that we don't eat deep into the fabric of things in a salon. We know they accept. We all the time it forbid December 25, every day forbid December 25, every day for the be December 25. Well, no, it's totally wrong. Whilst we they expect a victory, we for also make provision for say what if things veer of course. What do we need for do? We need for learn from inside these mistakes take place. We therefore make introspection and see, and then we work on that. But when you're not begin to treat we people the way they represent you in that way, you don't discourage them. Then what they happen? The attitude of lethargic man and they creep deep into the fabric of things. They eat it around. Then people they're waiting for other ones come out. They come out. So what you want to do for uses occasional for appeal to people them for gamesmanship for accept the fact say they are like you correctly say they are trying to go win and win. But waiting even make a very significant abiding, waiting they give the moral compass where you accept the loss in good spirit. Believe me, they give the moral high ground. But to me, the spectacle and the attitude of benign neglect when they direct as reply as it totally they out of character and not like you. It's very unfortunate. And the hope is people will try changing their mindset. With that, back to you, sir.
Yeah, and I will hope with that, what you just said, so Professor, that we appropriate ministries them. And I don't know the ministries that are responsible. We have so many ministries. I don't know if we get Ministry of Sports, but if there is a Ministry of Sports, and I think there is because there is a Minister of Sports, and then we get a Ministry of Information, and it could be also Ministry of Social Services. These ministries for be able to come out and put out a public relation announcement, sometimes knowing the tendency or the mentality of people and knowing how passionate they are about not only the game, but the desire to win. Now we further begins, the officials have further begin softening them up with public announcements that, yeah, we may lose, and if we lose, conduct ourselves in a civil way and carry on nicely, no vandalize anything, no attack anything, no throw out profanity, and so on and so on. Because now the officials, the duty nowadays for talk about anything in there. And the other thing we me to suggest also, I have advocated that it's about time we begin to see how we play as them for make playing soccer the means of livelihood, while the ones who are in Sierra Leone, because the ones who are in Europe, now the livelihood down there. The ones who are in Europe, they can play for the respective countries in Africa. They are, we don't say not to money, not the drive, not nationalism and interest in countries. So that they will not get it. But the one that we're not fortunate enough for go abroad or other countries and make a living, we get to realize, say, these people, now they don't give that in life. So government for begin to think of how to put them on some structured income where for determine their own family life, because the average soccer player, I think you reach your peak at between 30 and 35, you don't go as high as you can go. Now, after that, now downward, physically, skill-wise, physically meaning speed and durability, you're not able, no matter how you try. So we'll go put and say the average soccer player at 35, they don't reach age of retirement. So if we want to play for the country, we'll for try to begin to think about that man in future too, or for say, okay, well, he's only 25, 22, 23. He only get 10 years, 7 years left. So he doesn't play for the country. When he reach the age where he's not good again, we'll just kick him aside. And there's nothing safe for him for a future. Because we see other countries, them how athletes are fairly financially, then they do very well, money-wise. We can introduce the same thing in our country. We will come up with a system whereby these athletes to be able to live a very, very decent life. There is no reason why an athlete will play soccer for Sierra Leone at the end of his career not go get a house by himself, where he really in get time not to get and gear. Okay, so forget we begin take interest in them thing and they for take care of the one they way to take care of who, a way to do great things for the country. And they can talk about awards again. These guys are in a position to win awards, national awards. It can't always be academics or other people or people that will get money. It can be a mixture. So that said, I think, Professor, if you don't have anything else to add to the soccer thing, based upon what you will say, we'll not see any official, we'll not see any high-level reception by high-level officials them of the team, and that looks a little disappointing. But I will hope then we'll see that not to a good impression with the lay for the public, or the try for condition how to receive them players, and I hope the officials them go plan them better next time. So with that said, Professor, unless you have something else, we can move to another topic.
Right, so we'll move on.
All right. Among the topics that we'll get today, there's also another topic we get to do with the Aberdeen Bridge. But even though we specifically talk about the Aberdeen Bridge, that is in relation to a wider problem. So as some of you may have seen on the social media, there was this video going around, making the rounds about how the bridge was standing so loose, nuts and bolts were coming apart, that you could hear the nuts and bolts how loose they were from afar. So this went viral, and then it came to the attention of some of we. Then some of we bring it to the attention of officials them. Now we have to give the government some kudos or some congratulations, because when this was brought to the attention of the, well, there's a video that we want for play so I can see them. If we don't mind, control room, please play that video there for we, the video before. Then we'll go play another video after I do my comment. this is the video of the bridge being repaired. But I will be, and control room, it would be nice to show you the video we give rise to all this repair. Now the first one had this one.
Good morning. My wife is reach to what's in the giddy cause we would kind of pass iron is slab. I see this iron black like the way they look. So yeah, you see, maintenance for the government, and we don't begin so. The more the more relevance, the more trying to pass. I see how the island is. Already see. This is a tool for create serious problem as well of the Aberdeen Bridge. Any motor pass under. Now watch how the impacts on the bolts all over shoes to open on a watch. Now very important bridges at the city. Let's go to the first side of it. Now you see.
All right. So this is not the video. What we to go around, we bring attention to the officials and to some of we see what's in the go on, and we all know the significance of the bridge itself. And because we know, say, Aberdeen, even though it's an outskirt of Freetown, the larger Freetown, but we know the importance of the place in terms of the overall economy and social setting. Now, when we bring that to the attention of the government through responsible representatives, they went into action immediately, and in about between 20 to 48 hours, they were right on board taking care of things. And if the control room can show you, we want for sure how the government went into action within 24 hours to get things going, with repairs being done.
Me na Councillor Ahmed Karim Bangura of Ward 443. Where we now all know say this government na a serious government. When we give out this message, now the work they on, where they do. As soon as you see, we people in the work at the bridge now, I don't get cut off. When now the work they carry on. Like when they see, now the work they carry on at the bridge. When I hope so everybody they see at the bridge and they make so now. All the engineers there, whether they are SLRA, they're all there now for make the bridge. So now they see the walkway they carry on. Now they see people in the worker, they obey to the laws there. All man be happy. When you come up from town, you stop over grammar school. Then when I work at town, when you come over, normally party car for coming at the bridge, you stop to Taji. So see coach. You get access for go to see coach, but don't get access for let it pass. Now they just do maintenance for the sake of disaster. So we tell His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Malabio, thank you for where he is taking action immediately when he is short kind thing. That don't show you say na a listenable president. So we thank you all, all give una cooperation towards me world. Thank you all.
All right. So we see a quick, swift response to the alert that was put out as to the risky condition of the bridge. Now, I have no problem with the implication of politics or the councilman or the member of parliament. They take as much victory lap. I think they're entitled to it. At least at the very least, they respond and respond very quickly. Congratulations, and we hope, say, that's what we expect from government. And the reason why this bridge is important also, now the implication. Let us bear in mind that within a short period of time, we've had 2 bridge disasters. Now, Freetown, we get the bridge we can call the St. John Bridge, now Savage Road, by St. Anthony and St. John's, where the bridge collapsed. But for the grace of God, people will have been hurt very seriously. I understand saying only 1 minor casualty take place on the St. John, St. Anthony, Savage Road Bridge. Then we know say not too long ago, King Jimmy Bridge collapsed also. So we don't even know the count of people who may or may not have been hurt or injured in that. So when the Aberdeen Bridge begin to go that way, it was just a matter of time. If they not take this kind of action, we will see another problem. But within a city where you get 4 bridges are known to have some serious defect and collapsing, I think the government for really take things more seriously. We're not going to wait till something get out of hand. So I will hope this Aberdeen Bridge situation go make the government not stop there. Examine all the bridges all over the country, in every district, in every chiefdom, for make sure say people are safe. Not only people within Freetown, not only people within any other part of the country, the whole country, because we have a government for all the people, not for Freetown people. So kudos to the government for their reaction to the Aberdeen Bridge, the risky situation of the Aberdeen Bridge situation. But let me take that as an example for take a look at all the bridges there. Because we don't know what will have happened had someone not sent this video where they showed the bridge, the condition of the bridge. We don't know if government will have reacted so quickly. We don't know what may have had to happen before we realize that we'll get a serious problem that we had in Aberdeen. But things happen for a reason. But we just hope say the government will take that as a good reason for examining all the bridges there in Sierra Leone. So, Professor, unless you have something else to add to that, I think we can move on.
Well, if you want to move on, that's fine.
Okay. Now, so next on the agenda, we get a situation involving the Freetown cotton tree. So we won't forget people and views. We get a video. We would like for ask the control room for play that video there for we. We show the cotton tree on fire. And fire we don't know who say originates. And some miraculous well, not miraculous. I think the fire, there is some problem at the location where the tree is. So if the control room can plan for, we let people are able to relate to them as to what team will try for. Before we ask the question whether the cotton tree is still relevant to the beautification of the city and the historic nature of the city, and what relevance does the cotton tree still maintain with respect to modern day development. So I don't know if the control room has that video. All right.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, the control room has been supplied. Well, the control room it's been sent to the control room, so we hope say the control room will get them. For don't get them now, but while I'm commenting on it, as the cotton tree catch on fire recently, just very recently, and so people don't know where the tree and the fire originate from, and so as a result of that, branches were falling down and we are being people were just standing there helplessly, not knowing what may happen with the cotton tree. So the question now is, if the cotton tree get any usefulness, uh, 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 does it serve any useful purpose just being there, or is it becoming a health hazard or safety hazard for people? Because if a branch the for them with people in the past, vehicle in the past, and it will not get control, and then it originate fire where we don't know inside the fire to come out. So that of itself is dangerous. So the question is, if the cotton tree is disposed of, maybe they are outliving usefulness. Do people see something wrong with that, or people see if it serve any purpose, any useful purpose? So we'll get careful. We want people's opinion about that, as to watching people and see whether the cotton tree get any use at the center of town. If so, why? Make we just get some ideas as to, or waiting for do they need to hire a tree expert? Because there are people in the world who have expertise in trees if you want to save them. Because the cotton tree could be 400-500 years old. The cotton tree obviously probably was there before even Freetown was founded. And so then can hire experts for can take a look at it and see if it can be saved or if it cannot be saved, as to whether the cotton tree for be gotten rid of and turn that location there to another center of attraction. So the control room, they show the video now. They show parts, then they photo from the tree, and you can see smoke coming from some area. So, but this is the situation. So that said, we just try to let people then take a look at it and see if the cotton tree poses a danger to the safety of people that may come to and go around. If a big branch come up for them, it can hit the top of a car and cause some serious damage to someone inside the car. Depending on the size and the weight of that object they will handle. And also, they need to understand why the tree, without anybody setting fire to the tree, they catch fire from inside the tree. And then they need because this is why they are experts on everything. We don't need to get into all these things, because we Africans will get this simplistic way of doing, oh, now which man, now the devil, what did it? All of that is nonsense. We need to get experts for tell we waiting to cause fire on this tree, whether this tree is still healthy, whether this tree don't have to use in usefulness, or what can be done to save the tree, or whether we need a tree at all. So we won't forget opinions, and we will welcome different ideas. So that said, Professor.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This right now, the country, the catch fire. We don't know how far come on at this country here. We get for happen today. Now the cyclone begins for themselves. The 28th of January 2021. The tick right now on catch fire, and now it don't begin for them by parts. Now they try to stop all the motorcars that are not coming. For we will get way to solve this problem here. Now we don't call for our force now we respond to it. So that's the issue this now. What I'm like. Sergeant, I can interview you, sir. Hello, sir. I can interview you, sir, Sergeant. So you know me, sir, Sergeant? So who said first around me for this sticker the ball? Then they on the way. The fire force don't respond to you. Yes. What cause this fire? I don't know what caused the fire. Okay, thank you. But now fire force will carry 10 nights. And this stick right now don't begin for run by parts. This stick right now don't begin for run by parts. All the cripples and they run the reflect for the fire. This fire don't catch big. And this is a very important thing. This. And this sticker. And this place, this fire don't catch big. Now the police are don't try for stop for them. It's kind of not coming. And they don't go no side. Odu, please, don't try for reach fire first for them go Bukana. Let problem not be because other officers and they around, motorcars and they around for let trouble not be. Please, this you don't watch this fire, you don't pass mark. And this stick I doubt if you go survive. This stick I doubt if you go survive. The image of Salone this way for try for maintain them or this sticker they don't burn. You don't burn so plenty fire the inside it. Now plenty fire the inside it now. Fambule. This is not funny, Fambule. This still would happen so. Even the police they don't do their level best. They don't try for call fire force. They don't try for try for stop the vehicles when they don't come.
Because it's key for left for them back no more so noisy.
This country today, it don't burn, it don't go far. It don't go far. This country today, it don't burn. The fire force they try for call their number busy. Nobody no go come. Don't try for massive smooth.
Okay, all right. What you see and so you represent a wider structural problem in the country where they show the bad governance of the country from both of them political parties, both APC and SFPP, in the context of that thing when they call maintenance, really lacking. If you come now, you go to White House now, trees stand there where they don't plant inside White House now. Since they when they erect the White House, anyway. I see you start talk about experts for come. Every now and then they get people they take care of the thing. You see, because anything and maintenance, then our culture that we're lacking. This is a part of the corruption also. Not only the money, no more than the people that they pocket too. That's one. But the attitude of benign neglect. Things away for them believe say the only in a part of they go put a new structure. Take the even that in a building where they call you building. By any stretch of imagination, you building not to old building, not to old building. White House don't need that since they discovered this country over 200 years. But when they passed the White House, you see a new building now, very old building. Since America they call them. But what do they do? They need maintenance. You get not even talk about 2 ministries in there. We responsible for then kind of actually like we even talk about that bridge the Ministry of Transport and Communication as well as SLRA or whatever they call them. You expect that people then would go from place to place. You get all the engineers when are professors, when are doctors, but what happen again next time that they throw the internal office. These guys therefore they not place the maintenance, they check, they wait until disaster for them. No. When I get for be proactive. So what you say? But then even worse, for put more salt per so food. Imagine they call 911 and they call a 911 because so we they can take the fire for stock candy. Can you imagine? Enough, don't forget the petrol station because now they close to the BP and that petrol station we did it.
Yes,
that national
yes, right there.
It did
Right
it.
there.
What if this year extend it go yonder? We can imagine the disaster we go for the you talk about the center of Freetown. This now the sort of governments in there will get planning they focus they now make Nigeria don't pass with. Even though we now have in the colonial headquarters, Ghana and Nigeria don't pass with because they get people they get focus. We are the only thing that will lead us and get where election can the next thing how for come back into power. That's all. How for come back into power. Then of course, when are the results coming out, plunder, do this, live very ostentatious and opulent lifestyles them, at the expense and detriment and starvation. Because look, that kind of a thing. How can you call fire? I mean, you call fire first. Take today, you know, the first person. You remember that tanker business will be happened today. The tanker business. Normally, something like that. When they got the 911, the police have for not stop everybody. Or look what look even the other color. Imagine a fire they take place, but everybody they are around now. The police have for don't get mechanisms in the place where nobody cannot even even you the pedestrian, you know, because now all in a danger that looming. But this again are the kind of government who get the government name, you get all the doctors, they professors and they, but they are nothing. Now just the academic paper, nobody know, but they are nothing. They really nothing. If anything, then I just suckers them, blood suckers them, bleeding the nation today. Those little things that they we gonna know if we're not a progressive society. Those little if now I be today they call 911, they call 911. You see, what you know? God forbid, small say fire take place now, na state house. What happens? So these are the things that when they talk about development, these basic things that we go help enhance and sustain life. When something happen, how they respond very quickly. These are the things that you get electricity 24 hours. You get water where they not to think that way citizen for the politician for make any issue out of that, because electricity na any place na a matter of must. These are basic things there. Water for let people they doing a basic thing. Not to all the government don't bring it. How wash? Not to think that anybody for the even clap for. Oh, now we don't bring electricity. No. Now a matter of must. These are part of human the human capital that they talk about. So then tell what they happen. You just show the vacuousness or the sort of hustlers them where they purposely they represent three. Both of them people are so both SLPPO, APCO. Then guys, we really not get a government here. What you really need a Rollins mania now need. Rollins mania. We go wake people there from the slumber sleep. Now we really need a Salone. Rollins mania. We go make let people they understand. So you know what? We really need for invest in the human capital. It's very awful, it's very disgraceful, and totally inexcusable. Yes, it make that you know. If I be in America, that place when the center of Freetown, therefore don't make that place so attractive. Most of the national celebrations that they for the take place. Therefore, don't do it in such a way that it will attract. You know, seriously. But when you get people, they will not get a vision, no they. All have for just going to power, no more. That's all. Doctor, this professor, this minister of that, nothing. So these are the results of what they see. It's totally unfortunate. So back to you.
All right. That said, thank you very much, Professor. In furtherance of what you talk about, so we did see how much the international organization they try to get involved with we for bring we up to speed. We did see that. But how can we have a modern day city? We'll not get any emergency preparedness. That when a tree right in the middle of town, it gets fire, we know how to put the fire out. We not even know. And the irony of all irony, up Tower Hill Day, back of Parliament, which is less than a mile from that location, those are Cotton Tree Day, because back of, I think, I don't call them British Council, the library, there's a fire station there. At the very most, that distance is about a mile, if not less. So how could that fire day be taking place? There's a fire station in almost within sight, not a single fire truck or firefighter or anything for put out the fire. You know, this just to say we are not taking things serious. This also requires that we get for updates, bring up to par the equipments them, modern day fire trucks, good drillings, and good way for let people even introduce that in a school for how to participate in emergency issues before experts then come into the scene. Because now here we are, we were there to report at the acts the police officer, when I don't call fire force, where fire force they come. They're not going
But enough for every day. That reports are not for every day under.
precisely.
But place, because that's danger already. Danger.
Then for that block, then for that block, Stephen Street, then for that block, Pademba Road, then for that block, all the streets that will lead to that area there.
Yes.
You know? But you see, and the training not there. Because the police then your job down there for to cut that off. But the training not there. So we just the medal will not do what you for do for. And the challenge, you also blame the city council. As far as me know, which overlapping governmental responsibility, the city council is number one in taking care of a lot of activities in the city. Now, I realize that the Country Tree catching on fire, the central government might get some hands there too for solve the problem. But where you get the central
government, I not stop you. I not stop you. I not good. Again, now we talk now. I want to really tell me like una dey and so. When we get 911, na the state government they go there, or na just even the municipal, not only the municipal government, where they are not only put it. Yeah, the city, not to even the state government too. Now the problem is, the problem though, Mr. Shilon, the priorities are now wrong. Take away when if this I call them Ebola, this way they now this pandemic where they una go buy motorcar they will get the thing they wait for COVID. What they do, they go buy luxury motorcar they level people they go ride. It's all una buy ambulances they think they will go contain the medical how they call them. They go buy luxury motorcar. You see the problem at the place is that the corruption also it permeates that the way it can they not the wrong priority also now they give rise to the corruption at the place. How they will not get a fire force at every ward yonder fire force for daily. At every ward for get fire force daily. Because these things you cannot predict them, such you cannot predict them. That's why they call it emergency. They're unexpected. So but the question now, how prepared are you when a charge of the happens? So this again they show we nakedness. It show all the hand out there. We don't win a Millennium Prize. We don't do the all this hogwash rubbish. Now then, you now go know if una even qualify for winning here. Can you imagine?
Well, so but Professor, I know a city the size of Freetown should have at the very least, 10 fire stations.
Yes,
more than fire stations. And with up-to-date equipment,
of course,
for fire. Now, you also refer to the fact that the location of this cotton tree is such that it is within the proximity of a gas station.
A gas station, yeah, right there.
NP is right there.
Right there.
And there is a looming danger because the fire they come from within the tree, so we don't even know whether they go underground. And NP get tanks. They get tanks in the area. Fire get to that gasoline day, you talk about like a bomb being thrown at the area.
Serious.
It will shatter a lot of buildings. In fact, untold disaster ain't going to take place. So this is what we need the big man them, we need the expert them, we need the bookman them for foresee the likelihood of anything happening and take necessary steps, take preventive steps from letting that not happen. But we know they do that, and everybody, like you said, will get this big title, will get great certificates on the wall. But when it comes time to showing themselves, as to what in that wonderful people at the wall will prove, we'll find it for say, like American man can say, some of them degrees they are not even worth the papers they are written on.
Oh yeah, it's not even worth it.
You see? So these are the things, but we have to bring this to the national consciousness because there is a major artifact of the symbol, a major symbol of the country.
Yes.
know, and we don't know what for do. And if we take what the reporter say, the tree does so burn out, it may not be saved.
In
So
fact, you
now
can't
if
believe
it's not
Mr. Shilon. That Shilon is in 1792 historically, because I remember the history of farm. I know the history of cotton tree. I know that they plant and they then maroons the way. You remember after they been on free then slaves them we been go settle like the we come on America and anything in there. Now then go, you know, now then go plant that in the 1792. I remember the history of that tree. Imagine.
okay. But this also speaks terribly of we, because if we give the attention to the tree where the tree deserve, we for not find tree experts.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes they are referred to as tree doctors, we can able diagnose trees and tell how old they are and significant, and whether the chick gets viruses then, whether the chick then get the need for be treated, all these things. We know they attach significance to that. But if we don't make cotton trees a national symbol,
A
we owe a
landmark.
duty.
It's a
Yes,
landmark.
sir. We owe a duty for keep up with them. So now, and we forget out of this mentality where something get for go wrong beyond repairs before we realize that something is wrong.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and because in law we call it irreparable harm. You can't wait until irreparable harm take place before
No.
you decide for say, oh, well, particularly when a harm way foreseeable and preventable. You
Yep.
know, but just reckless disregard, a wanton and
Reckless
reckless
disregard. Yes.
of the
Yes.
safety and welfare of others, government not give the thing the attention we're supposed to get. So
Correct.
we hope say people have for begin to see this is an area where the central government and the city council might say, oh, we're not getting the money for our expertise and that. But I hope these things happening will open everybody's eyes. We can't be talking about cotton tree. So we may not even be talking about saving a cotton tree. Now, I hope we expert then will begin to see if we lose the cotton tree, what do we need to replace it with anything? Maybe we don't, you know. But again, I recommend experts to come and look at the total situation of the location and ask people who are city planners to say if this cotton tree not in here, does it have to be replaced by any symbolism, or can we just put stoplights and move on?
Yeah.
An
All of those
expert
factors. Like that. Yeah.
an expert will tell us if it is necessary, if it is not necessary, you know. And but we'll go wait again, chase until the balance part were born, go for run at somebody in head and break your neck before then we say, oh, we need to do something, you know. So we just bring that to the attention of people then, and like Professor Kutubo also add, water and electricity, it all get to a point now, particularly in the city of Freetown, if nowhere else, but I think the entire country, it become a civil right matter, a human right matter.
Yes.
People have a right to have access to water,
Exactly.
and they have the right to have access to electricity or to light. Because with technology today, you can get light, you can get solar. The government now for just the things say not only the privilege them entitled to that. So we need for up we game the one that were they in position for help. The one that we don't run good at government say they want run government and know what you for do. These are some of the things we need for do. Now wait till disaster come. Start bringing solar light to houses, to
But Mr.
neighborhoods.
Shilon, look at this. How you get
Yes,
a
sir.
country where get 7 rivers? 7 rivers. This is exactly where I don't understand this. This is where nobody has been able to, sensitize my psychological attitude in accepting the fact that these things are acceptable. We talk of 7 rivers and still we cannot produce electricity. Where are our engineers? Where are they? No foresight? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to understand. It's really hard to understand. And we get major rivers, from the western area all the way up. River Sewa, River Moa, Great Scasses, Little Scasses, River Rukel. I mean, we get it. I mean, it's just a matter of pulling we intellectual resources together to produce for the common good that we are not doing because the commitment is lacking. It's not there. So we are
Yeah.
urging the people. I mean, it's good. Uh, you know, to whom much is given, much is expected. If we claim say we don't can at the West, we don't learn book, we get we need to go back and impart knowledge and show we expertise. It's unfair to the people in the country for us to go back and become an excess weight or a dead weight on the country.
Seriously.
The country is already overburdened by excess weight. Now we they come out and the diaspora here, we go back there and add to the excess weight that the country cannot even carry. So these are some of the disappointing things because a lot of who to go back home will return fish as you for in the water fish. When they go, they implement what you will learn here.
Oh no.
Will they go there for join and for just expert the country. So these are some of the things, and we hope say things are happening around us for let we learn, for give we ideas, for give we sense, for say we forget we own we future then in our hands. God can always help we because He don't give we all the answers, but we not for expect and for calm down and do the physical work. It don't give we opportunity. It give we intelligence, but the rest is all to up for dream for the up to us for dream for the country and vision for the country and try to put the right people in place. So I hope everybody see what's going to happen, and anybody we get something can feel free to please call us and tell me what you think about the city council and the government and the cotton tree, whether we need and they or we don't need it anymore, whether maybe it's a good thing, is a catch on fire, maybe because we'll not be able to get rid of her. But it's an historic monument.
Oh, it is.
And that's another. We learn for respect history, which we seem forget some casual appreciation for. We not seem for get great appreciation for we history and we historic past. So we need to be conscious of that, because there are so many things we hold dearly that we don't seem to be to care for, or we don't even know much about.
True.
So we just suggest that please, folks, just let we try to forget with ministers and for pay attention to what's in the past. So that said, Professor, unless you have something else, we can move to another topic.
Well, let's move on. I don't know if you are open the line now, as we go along. I don't know if you
the line. I was hoping that, the line should be open, and the control room is in charge of that. So the lines are open now, so we can move forward.
All right.
So the other thing is, the other topic we will get on the agenda today is that of the coup in Burkina Faso. We want to understand why in recent times we are still having coup. And now we seem to think that we form a president, they blame the coup plotters them. And he may get a point. It's subject to debate. And someone else, like the African leaders, they went to coup up in Guinea, then begin blame the soldiers them. But nobody seems to blame the politicians them, who are the start of the problem. Then they draw up what you call a constitution, where the politicians refuse to follow completely, thereby provoking some justification in getting army for being involved. And let me make one thing clear. Military rule is not good for a country. It doesn't help the country at all. It really every time there's a coup, the country takes several steps back. Because when a military government kind of power, if they get any vision for the country at all. I don't mean the one that will come make money, but if they care about what you make them see, they make the coup. They go for steps so far backwards for strengthening institutions them. We go get for deal with the democracy who they talk about. They get for bill them. And that's putting us behind. What will leaders them for begin for? They need for respect the rule of law. If you get a constitution where give you 1 or 2 terms, stick with it. Now, even if you get a desire for be a dictator, it's not going to work because you're being selfish, you're pushing the country backwards. Now, that happened in Guinea. You get Alpha Conde, where this is a college professor, a man who had been in opposition for a long time. Finally get the opportunity for lead Guinea. What did he do? He do 1 term, he do 2nd term, then he found a way for kick aside the constitution, for do what the constitution say you're not supposed to do. And then not a single African leader condemn him. Instead, they try to condemn the soldiers. So we can play that game there, but as long as we keep playing that game there, we don't have to put the blame where it belongs. That these African leaders are lawless, they don't get no regard for the rule of law. And I also blame international organizations who make this African. When you take a man like Museveni, like Uganda, the only way he has left not that them for to overthrow him. This man would have been in power over 30 years or almost 30 years. He overthrew Idi Amin by force. He lied to the people and say, "Oh, he will bring this, he will bring democracy." Then what has he done? He has become the worst dictator way Uganda ever imagined. Just imagine this country since independence. They've only had, I think, 3 presidents. Obote, Idi Amin, and this Museveni, who takes Uganda as his personal property. And African leaders then say they get an organization. They don't see anything. Why are they even giving position to a man like that? He shouldn't be among the rank and file of people who mean well for Africa. But he's there, imposing himself on the people, and very corrupt, very, very, very corrupt. Thinks he owns the country, and no, people don't criticize him. But if somebody run out of power and landed, as long as they keep pretending they don't know where the problem lies, we're going to keep repeating the same thing. And it's unfortunate because we don't want it shouldn't be happening. Africa should be moving forward with some serious governance and progress. Look at what happened to we worldwide. COVID-19 happened. We Africans were helpless. We not get one institute of anything where they will produce vaccines. We not put we brain power together. We not put we economy together. We not put money together. We are at the mercy of international organizations, World Health Organization. The area say, "Oh, where Ebola come, the Africans and defend some people will take care of them." What COVID-19 can, you say Africans, the African Institute of this, Institute of that. We always look forward to the other side for the will fly. Like when a car will not get tail. And we seem to enjoy that. When some disaster kind of Africa, we always look for international handout. Well, if that's the future, what would all part out for we self? Well, that's the way we're going to remain. We need leaders, and we know say we begin for tell we say we get the ability, both intellectually and resource-wise, for do a whole lot more for educate unborn generations. We get the resources, but we are not doing it. We are just waiting. Now the Western nation get for tell we say we need improvement with the traffic. We've had a situation where Frabe College, which is such a historic university, where we know of the previous government being given millions and millions and millions of dollars for modernize them, for renovate them, for beautify them. What happened? The money end up in the hands of politicians and nothing get done. So this is our story. This is what we are. So as long as we continue to do that, we cannot complain why we are so far behind. So it's about time we begin for let we leaders, they know say, the future of the country then at their hands. It's time for them for begin for dream and think of we, and it's time for we the Africans for take we own destiny in our hands. We the brag say we learn book we get PhD like which man? Well, show we. Say you can do what you know which man they do. So we say you can be concerned about society as they are. So we say you can be as progressive as they are. You can't just and your education just can't all that you motivate can pursue something what the education not bring for you, there is nothing. So this now we problem, this nothing we'll get for deal with, this nothing we'll get for talk about. So I will hope people ensure some more interest, the cotton tree situation, let we get sense of history, that this is a historic landmark we would all have carelessly that is going down to ashes. And if they not do something, a major branch is going to come up here and for them at the wrong time and probably injure people. And I hope say we also learn by the cotton tree burning right in the heart of town and fire force not even there for sure say this is not a criticism. We want people to understand this not just a warning for tell we say we need for prepare more than we are. We are taking too many things for granted, So with that said, Professor, if you don't, and the Burkina Faso thing that we talk about, and so with that said, I pass over to you.
Thank you. Well, actually, Burkina Faso, we don't follow the history of that country for long. As a matter of fact, they get independence before 1969 and get independence. So the first leader would be Mr. Maurice Yamengo, something like that. Now have been the president. So this, I think, will be the 9th leader we didn't get now. So in between, they get to a point now they change the place. It be named Upper Volta. If anybody know of the history of that place, that's what it be named Upper Volta. Yeah. But today, radical guys in come and change them. Being Burkina Faso in order to you get Maurice Yamengo. After Maurice Yamengo, then La Mizana overthrow him. La Mizana come inside the tea where we they overthrow him. But the fact of the matter is, it's simple. The question is, waiting for if we actually don't ready for government, we serve that one. If we assuming so don't ready, why would not go return to the Westminster concept, the parliamentary democracy, especially on the part of leaders that we want in power, take go, because it's funny. You remember like that, Mami been in Germany. Angela Merkel, she was in power for very long. But the thing is, not of us saying now imposes for now a parliamentary democracy in Germany. So meaning that as long as your party will come and your party then will elect you as leader, because how the thing is that now you party for elect you as leader. So while they elect you, now they go. Now you contrast to what they can happen to Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, there's depending on what thing will get for come out of the commission where they not set in job day in the balance. So in any kind of a country then they expect military coup because the system they take care of itself. It does take care of itself. If you observe what we need under parliamentary democracy, we'll start with the independence. Before we even go to Lancaster House in 1960, May 1960, and we'll come on to Lancaster House from that same day up to 1967, now that be parliamentary democracy. So you go get rid of people. That was how Albert Magai was got rid of because of democracy, the parliamentary democracy. The majority can can almost on. And here's what happened to him. And Sunday, March 19, 1967, now Kenima, 94 MPs that they get rid of Albert Magai, Kutubu Kaisamba, Luceni Bwewa, Yebi Francis, and then Yusuf Sheriff, they undercover 4. Now juxtapose that to 20 happen the APC. You know the whole of APC party, they're not able to get rid of one man. They're not able to get rid of her because of this kind of system. We're not able to run a presidential government. The only side really today they able to run a presidential government in a country like America. because they don't got the structures and foundation in. Because no matter what happen, you're going to be gone. Anyhow, you look after 4 years, the Sunday, the Monday, the January 20 of the 4 years, 12 o'clock, you are no more president there. Might not go back to you, not no go you gone. But we, to be honest with you, will not be able. So me go say the best way for the law go back to the parliamentary democracy, where you go then power as long as your party win elections, and as long as your party willing for make you a leader. So you see Israel, while they don't pull you. Look at Benjamin Netanyahu. He's out of power. Or now the same thing they happen in Italy. And I think so that they care about government they want. If we got for stop the military, the military they can't because people they don't get no other way for be able for go through the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box through a democratic process. They cannot because everything. I must tell you something, okay? Regardless of whatever opinion they get about Strauss and others, but now one thing I will credit them. That come when they come April 1992. Had those guys not come to power, now different too they talk about because the way out these guys let me say that because guys like Ablai Country in 1980, it was going to be very difficult for law get any genuine election at Salone. This I can tell you. So the reproval, yes, of course, Kasa they get all the excesses there, but we must take go take it. What you do, you give it a break. That come when they come in. If anything they get for credit, the intervention on April 29, 1992, 9 saves value from be like Sudan and the other continent. Because the way that thing was structured with people like Bambe Kama around, people like all of those guys around, even including this 40 years and then they were going to either see what TV they happen on April 7. Now the joy don't tell them for let them, restructure the party. What they do, they go around the system where they not already exclude certain, parts of the continent for so that way no more they go to now who that they want, and not only that, even the party cards, so people that will not pay for the party card for the Assyrian and others, they not give them a card. So in the end, now them who that they no more they want, now go as delegate, then they put person where now anyhow APC go about this, it is who that and Eskoroma they want, now they forbid the presidential candidate because they not already put the structures in that place. You have to forbid it. Whatever election they hold, now who that they want, the delegates where they pick, now delegates will get for reflect them. So the fundamental question, we need this kind about them. No. What we actually need, we need a parliamentary form of government. Now we need because that way they una the city will not even for now if now within the parliament now they get rid of a dictator right there because all they do they just come together, they move a vote of non-confidence on the leader. But in a parliament in a presidential system of governance, you're not going to do that because they not you get for go to impeachment, you get for do this, you get for do that, you get for do that, you get for so the question is we need this kind of a government. No, we don't need that. If we get a parliamentary form of government, then no army not go take over. Because it is self-police itself. So with that, I hand back the baton back over to you.
Well, with that, exactly, Professor, what you say, this is not so we are being intellectually lazy because we get so many models them for look at, for carve out, and like close who it is so. The tailor, you go show him his style. It goes so something will go fit you, and not get for be what you fit Kutubo, because we're not to the same shape and size. But what you would try for do back in Sierra Leone, we want copy things the way or models the way we don't know much about, and then it always never works right for we, because some of the talk so intellectually we get all them bookman there. Then for be able because to maintain good government, you must come up with a system of checks and balances, free of undue influences. Okay? So from a logical standpoint, based upon what you talk so, I just want to ask them party supporters them. Don't they ask themselves, why will a man be president for 10 years, almost 11 years, serve full time in party laws? He is still insisting to want to be the head of that party. Don't people ask themselves, what does he have in mind? Why is he so insistent? Why is he not satisfied that after all these years, he does become an elder statesman? Why? Why aren't we people? And people are people then just so get wrapped up with the party thing that they don't even see how that against their self-interest. Because to me, that indicates bad faith. Indicates some intent,
Yeah.
because, and how do people even think that's good for a country? If we now allow one man forget that kind of sway over a party, and then when I want that person, they forget that much influence even when he's out of power. What other country did they see that, where a prime minister or president will don't retire? He hold on tight to the leadership of the party for all
Oh
the
no,
shots.
no way. Only
So
Salone.
people have to use their common sense. If they love
Only
Sierra
Salone.
Leone, now if you love SAPP, you love APC, that's what you will do. You will ignore everything and say, I just want me a man of power. But it's time for people to start questioning, certain behaviors.
No,
Why?
well, Mr. Shilon, I know what do answer. Give me. I really like this part of the discussion. We don't come in.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is what Hamburg Salone. And until change that mentality, we don't create this kind of political culture. We not able to compartmentalize issues. What do I mean by that? Mr. Shilon, I can like you, Mr. Shilon, Mr. Shilon, I like you. But guess what? Not to because I like you, so everything we do, I get for go along with them. No. What you don't create that with political culture, I'm your psychophancy. Praise singers, even on the face of the cataclysms of hopelessness and colossal failures, you get, psychophantic carpet bagging vultures, where day in, night out, na praise singing in the part, even as in they go there. So, what happen, they don't transmogrify their leaders, they don't make them demigods. They don't make it. So, when you come out, wait a minute. You know what? The country big past the leader. The country big past the party. As far as me on political knowledge or recollection go about Salone, I don't know about Salone since 1808 when I've been colony of the crown. So Salone has existed even way before the leaders did. Therefore, what you go do, we go try for project the country and then put the leaders in there, but that not go happen. If you sit down now, you criticize any leader now, then they subject you to all kind of misogynistic name callings and narcissistic tribes them. Call you all kind of names in there. And the same psychophants say they don't say that they if are responsible, for the country going on, because they don't become enablers of how they call them, bad leaders and that. Now the danger is they don't creep deep into the fabric of things in our country. The psychophants say with the army of them, praise singers them every now and then. Even if I like you, Mr. Shilon, you are going to be told. For example, when the former APC leader talks, say no courts, no go do anything. These are things that where it will be of fundamental concern to everybody. No, you cannot say no court, because if we are going to be a nation of laws, the court system or the judiciary, then they act as a bastion of the constitutional liberty system. When all else is failed, we get for count on the court system for midwife for we. If America gets today, where you talk about American exceptionalism, not to the White House, not to the Air Force One, not to that bulletproof, not to that bomb-proof car with the president ride. No. It comes from within the rule of law. We find practical expression in the laws the way they lay down. Nobody know they above the laws. Nobody. You guys just say a lot of things that whether leaders who send the parliament don't ever even question a leader. That's Salone. None. A lot of things that we don't happen as Salone. We talk about both parties and both leaders. Not a time nobody not hold a leader accountable. So where do we go? I'm Sashino, until we change that mentality today, we change the mindset, we change the narrative. I don't care who that camp and power. As long as we not able to hold yourself. 9 days away, we all be talk about the constitution. I like the way we are. He like they say that constitution, that heaven and write that constitution. Now God writes and give it. That constitution will only become meaningful when we decide for submit to dictates. We the people there, we go for submit. Yeah. So you know what the constitution then they go up here and Mount Everest. We they don't. When we accept that, say the only thing where they govern we, not to the political department, that the constitution, that everybody subject under constitution. To God, we will become United States of Africa or Salone. But as long as we decide, say, now the leaders them, and we party them, now they go there above the country, I don't care who's leader we go bring. Let you go bring Angel Gabriel. Say, let he can rule up Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. Say, let he can be leader. Say, no, where they be leader, now you go there above the constitution, we will remain at the abyss. Thank you very much, sir, for the audience. Back to you.
Well, in furtherance of what you just say, Mr. Kutubu, this is the other thing. Using England again as an example. Look, right now, Boris Johnson, they're in trouble.
Yes.
Because of outrageous conduct. Yeah. Going out there, holding party in the midst of the COVID-19 and telling the rest of the citizenry for otherwise. Okay.
Exactly.
Now, not to the opposition, they taken to task. Now, in your party.
Exactly. Exactly.
In your party, they say, listen, now you get we want you out because you don't bring shame to we, you don't bring shame to the party, you don't bring shame to the country. They're not so hung up on, oh, we're gonna lose power. No. They get checks and balances in place.
Exactly,
when they get a leader, one of the act in accordance with expected behavior, a pattern of behavior, they get away where they go pull you. Now he's begging for his life. He's begging life.
Oh, yes.
But when in your party, they try to kick him out.
Exactly.
Well, importance of what you say, when we get a system where we consciousness rise to the level above party interest and we bring it up to the level of national interest, then we go able for begin take them stand there against women party leaders them. Another misinterpretation where I can talk about what we can copy thing, what they put in the constitution or this proposed white paper. And I think that mistake they South Africa make.
Yes.
Countries like England, then get a structure whereby not to every time where a leader get for go out, they get for call general election.
Nope.
Because the party, the Labour Party, the party is already, the Conservative Party is already in power. So the structure is such that for the period where they get in power, they can change leadership.
And I know for happen now, when they change this guy up, another person is stepping. They know no election. There's another person going to be elected among them.
Yeah. But now we not try for build institutions. You see, not to start with the focus. We try for give undue advantage to one party, knowing full well that no one party, now the country or now any country, get all the answers to the solutions or get all the solutions to the problem of a country. You know, they are intelligent, smart, foresighted people them, and all parties. Okay, so we get for come up with a system. I mean, I can say we're trying to be intellectually lazy because we no one put with shoulders to the wheel for come up with a piece of paper, what we call the Constitution, where deal with national issue, national progress.
Exactly.
It's good for everybody. We want to write a piece of paper where give advantage to one party over another party.
Yep.
We want to run constitution where give advantage to one tribe. And these are all short-sighted because they're counterproductive. It will never work. You can never write a document what will give advantage because all you do is set the foundation for revolution.
Yes.
You know? So the reality is when some of these countries, like you say, they don't see need for coup because there are ways they can get rid of the leader.
Oh, yeah.
And even the leader, now then country, then they then get respect for law and order in the sense that Boris Johnson, there is no way he go say, he go meet the Solicitor General or he go to the House of Lords and say, when I find a way for them to twist the rules for keep me in power longer than the party wants me. You see,
but don't go far. When Sarkozy is in Nigeria now, the former French president, is in Nigeria.
French president. Exactly.
Yeah, it's in Nigeria. You know?
So it is incumbent on we, now with duty, we will love with country, for rise above this pettiness about party politics. where we know the history of these parties that are not showing any sign of trying to rise above the terrible history
Nope.
that we have. You know, and to some extent, I know I turn this into a political talk, but we get for judge people and based on the history. We get for judge the presidents, the past presidents, them based upon the national census of achievements. You know, so like you say, if Stressor and Bio, President Bio, they not be just intervened, there is no telling where Australia would have been by now. But it was not. It was definitely not heading in the right direction. It
Nope.
was going completely off course, and it was being fueled by Oxford and Cambridge educated people. You know, let's put that aside. All them degree are they good to an extent. Now the love of the country and I forbid the main motivation and motivator for a good sense of direction. So that said, again, they talk about good governance. I hope people then go listen, and we hope say we leaders then go listen, and we hope say we leaders then go participate. I'll take some of them things here under advisement when then they try for government. I know it's a tough job. I've always said governing is not easy, but the people, you know, the kind of power, so the people are suffering for continuing. Therefore,
No.
now for relieve the people of hardship, that we want for begin for seeing Australia. Do more for the poor people. Public housing, affordable housing, you know, jobs, increase in the daily wage for make somebody, you know, there are videos. I get a video, maybe we'll play next week, where say, the woman say, she normally used to cook 10 cup rice in house. Say, but now they showed her when she went to the market, haggling and price. The people that would sell say, no, I can't sell unless. So this might mean now 6 cup rice to buy. They say we just eat now we house for each no more, but we not eat for bed full. You know? So I think government for listen to them kind of people here and do what it takes. You know? So that said, Professor, I think we've dealt with the issue.
Yeah.
Unless you want to add something to it.
No.
Okay.
Low move.
Now, let's move very quickly.
And then look, see the line open still, so because
yeah, the line. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Now there was an issue. I hope the control room has that audio day for play. This has to do just for Miss Fadima, I would say for Rob Mott, but for just touch on Miss Sylvia Blyden in War of Words with the former president of Liberia. And that will see if people get comments, but somebody like me, I get something to say about that.
Oh, me too.
If the control room has the audio ready to go, then if you play it, then we can able to let people and relate to what you would talk. Because I think say that's bad politics, it's dangerous politics.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's self-serving politics, and this is not a politics in the interest of the country, and we call it for what it is. You know?
Is Sierra Leone former gender minister. She has some issues with former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. What are those issues? She's certainly going to be telling us. But this is just a short narrative that she's written, which is very important. She's certainly going to detail here in her explanation. And it reads, Dr. Savial Olayinka Blyden has called on former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, to start acting more like a West African elder of merit and less like someone running interference for local Sierra Leone politicians. Blyden says that Johnson Sirleaf has sadly reduced herself into running cheap interference for the former president of Sierra Leone and current Freetown mayor. The following will be explained in her conversation with Prime Communications Network Incorporated. My co-presenter is no other but Vesely Smo. Vesely has joined me, and we are going to be playing host to this very important figure in Sierra Leone. We've been joined by Dr. Blyden. We'd like to say good evening in Sierra Leone, and I particularly was in sympathy with you when you lost your game to Equatorial Guinea, 1-0.
Yes, the whole of Sierra Leone, everybody is sad over the loss. Thank you.
How did the Freetown Bobo manage?
I'm sorry?
How did the Freetown Bobo manage? Because I particularly was supporting Freetown, was supporting Sierra Leone. I wanted you to win, to qualify for the next stage.
Yeah, everybody wanted to qualify for the next stage, but it's the will of God. That's what God wants, and we have accepted.
Okay, so we'd like to say welcome to Liberia. We'd like to say welcome to one of Liberia's most listened to radio station, Prime Communications Network Incorporated. I'm quite sure you are seeing us loud and clear from the Republic of the capital, Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Yes, I'm actually watching you live on the Facebook page.
Oh, you see me live, and unfortunately I can't see you. But I see a picture of two persons here. I don't know which is. I see someone with on your page right here. I see two very beautiful ladies, one with a hat and another on hat. Which one? That you they be?
The one with the hat is actually my late mother. I lost her last year, and the other one is myself. It's a photograph of the two of us.
Okay, the both of you, you're so very identical. I think you brought your mother, even though I've not seen your father, but I think you brought your mother. And we are very elated to have you on Prime Communications Network Incorporated. The whole Liberia is certainly listening to you. Will you allow Liberians to have an interaction with you after your official statement?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. That is exactly what I want.
Okay.
I want Liberians to help us.
So my co-driver is right here. He wants to say hats up to you too as well. His name is Vesely Sumo.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Mr. Sumo.
We're very happy to have you join us this evening, and we very much look forward to what you have to say to us regarding this special topic. I don't know where we can go straight into.
Yeah, we can go straight into the conversation. Yeah.
Okay, so on Twitter, I think that is where this conversation started. Mm-hmm. So on Twitter, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf tweeted just about a day ago, and I'll read her tweet that you responded to. She said, "Congratulations to Mayor of Freetown, Yaki Sawyer, who secured Bloomberg.org 1 Million Mayor's Challenge Award for her city, competing amongst more than 600 applicants. The government of Sierra Leone should see her as a national asset." Now, you responded to this post by saying, let me get your response very quickly. Your response to her tweet was that, where is this response? Let's hope I have it here.
You mean the one I sent you?
Yeah, okay. I think I saw your response.
Okay.
So your response,
okay. Messenger, and the other one is on WhatsApp.
So your response was that the former president. I want to do this verbatim. You called out former President Sirleaf to start acting more like a West African elder of merit and less like someone running interference for local Sierra Leonean politicians. You claim former President Sirleaf has sadly reduced herself into running cheap interference for the former president of Sierra Leone and the current mayor of Freetown. these are very strong responses to our former president's tweet. Tell me, what is the background to all of this?
Thank you very much, sir. This is simple. Sierra Leone is a sovereign nation. We have a lot of respect for Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf as citizens of Sierra Leone because of what she has achieved, which we take as an achievement for the African women. But what we have noticed, a lot of us, what we have noticed lately is that she is engaging in running interference in our local politics. And let me explain. She uses her celebrity clout and her stature and the admiration and the love that Sierra Leoneans have for what she represents and what she has achieved, to input herself into our local politics in a very negative manner.
How?
I will now give you an example. And I will start with her running interference, the former president of Sierra Leone. Myself and several members of our political party, where the former president remains as the chairman and leader of the party, we took him to court because he was acting very undemocratically and against the Constitution of Sierra Leone and against our party's constitution. That matter is being heard at the High Court of Sierra Leone. And suddenly, what do we see Madam Johnson Sirleaf does? She goes on social media and she puts out a message that clearly seeks to influence the High Court case. She says that as far as she is concerned, the former president of Sierra Leone has always obeyed his party constitution and the national constitution of Sierra Leone. Gentlemen, I want to ask you something. I can hear an echo. I don't know if the echo is on your side. I can hear an echo of my voice.
An echo. Maybe there's something loud.
No, I think the problem is because you're listening through WhatsApp. Not WhatsApp. You're following us on our page.
While talking.
While talking. So if you're hearing us from right here, you don't need to listen to us via our official page. So maybe you can lower whatever device you're listening to us.
It's coming from my phone?
I think so. I think so. So just lower the device you're monitoring from our official page and let's just keep the conversation at this level.
Okay.
So let's evaluate as you...
No, I'm still hearing the echo. So now, does that mean that... Are you hearing the echo on your own side?
No, unfortunately, we're not hearing the echo from our side. Honestly, we're not hearing it.
You're not hearing any echo?
No. We're not hearing any echo. We are getting you loud and clear.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, that's fine. Well, let's go. Okay. So now, what does she do? In the middle of the court case, after we have filed all these very serious allegations against the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf goes on social media and she just says that as far as she is concerned, the former president has never breached his party constitution. The former president has never breached the Sierra Leone constitution. And she just makes like a ridicule of the case that is at the High Court in Sierra Leone. I was deeply disappointed. But this is not the first time she.
Hello, okay. I think that just gave us a feel without hearing all the entire exchange or exchanges between Ms. Blyden and the newsmen in Liberia. But this, I think, gave somebody like me a basis to just say a few things, sort of. We have to be mindful and respectful of the views of others. I'm not so sure if a former president of Liberia comments about development in Sierra Leone. First of all, unless the High Court of Sierra Leone not serious about the nature of the job, I cannot see how just a statement by a former president of a country will influence the outcome of a case that is right now before the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone. That should have absolutely no bearing, because these guys are dealing with issues of law, issues of fact, not political opinion or personal opinion or social opinions about the litigants, you know? And so, to me, even saying that by Ms. Blyden is casting we judiciary, maybe rightly so, in the light that they can be easily influenced by statements made out of court without any foundation as to the basis, or can be influenced by hearsay evidence, because these are statements being made out of court and they are on sworn statement by someone all the way maybe in New York or in Liberia, wherever Ms. Salif might be or may be at the moment, as to an opinion that she is claiming the woman expressed. Okay, I mean, I just try to put them in a reasonable light. To me, it's an unnecessary attack on the lady in terms of making that statement today. I think if we listen to the audio some more, one of the attacks also she had on the former president of Liberia, I think she said it earlier, but to say because the woman praised the mayor of Freetown for some achievement through Bloomberg organization, that also in a part of the interference that she is getting into Sierra Leone politics. But I don't see how that has anything to do with politics. You know, here in this show, I just made statements about Museveni in Uganda, because I just made statements about other African leaders then. I'm not so sure I'm interfering with them. Politics is just an opinion that I'm expressing from afar. That is not going to influence even the political system, I think, in Uganda, let alone say if the case was in front of the Ugandan courts, you know, and I'm not one of them, one of the attorneys or the lawyers, nor do I know what the nature of the facts are. I'm not so sure we courts can be that feeble-minded as to just an expression by Johnson Salif influencing them and casting aside the matters before them that may have been adequately briefed, both factually and legally. So it seems to me, and besides the issue of Ms. Blyden, the take with the former president, you would have thought these are issues to be taken by the BO government or somebody from the BO government if they have any objection to the Freetown mayor being praised or anything of that sort. the appropriate body, it seems to me, Miss Blyden has the right to express himself. She has a right to send out a Twitter. She has a right to disagree with Ms. Salif. I don't have any problem with that. But I'm not in agreement with her that she's running an interference in our political system, because I don't see any politics in this. You know, I think Ms. Blyden need for utilize the energy on more productive issues, because these are so trivial. We should be free to express opinions across international state lines. I think people should be free. I don't see anything wrong with somebody in Sierra Leone speaking negatively of President Biden in America, or even calling a radio station and saying something. That doesn't mean the person is interfering in the politics of America, because what President Biden does affect people worldwide. So there are real parties in interest. So my thing is, I just consider that a dangerous politics, and I think it's self-serving. I think Ms. Blyden for respect the right of a former president of another nation for express the right, and nothing say the court system. I don't hold the legal system in Australia that highly, but I think I hold them to the point that they will not be so low in their standard that they will allow statements, out of court statement, for influence the outcome of a case before them. That's my own comment.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shilon. See, the problem about Sylvia is he takes himself too serious. He don't build a pedestal for himself, thinking that, he get this wonderful capacity, for leadership of the country. But also, we can backtrack and look and say, this is one way he always look for attention from, government within. Okay? Like you correctly say, no matter what opinion former President Johnson expressed, that not get no bearings on we. It not get no bearings. And like you correctly say again, if that mean I go spend me copious energy trying to see how you go if I bring a democracy and the rule of law na APC, na that I will do. Bringing Miss Johnson now unnecessary distraction, and it totally uncalled for, a very undiplomatic, and we can even amplify the argument against her. Say, you cannot, that lady there. Anyhow, you look she's recognized around the world. A Nobel Prize winner. Let's not forget her new. You don't get how they call her, and within the constraints of democracy, it don't stay within 18 days. He come in office with grace. He don't accommodate with grace. So he talk about statespeople then, statesmen, stateswomen. In a one of the states lady there, because I get all the gravitas them. So maybe you say this is very unfortunate, and Sylvia get for this penchant for the limelight, penchant for drawing attention to. He really get for a bit mellow small. He get for mellow small. You alone not go try for grab all thing at the same time. That they call jack of all trades and master of none. Eventually, you will become a master of none. This way, a day like today, so now where you want to front and center, she was one of the enablers of anti-Romaism. Don't forget to. She was one of the enablers then. This is exactly the great English philosopher, a great English World War II leader, Winston Churchill, they always talk. He said when they go feed alligator with your eye open, koju. Then you say na you last you go eat. Na lie, you mistake. Because when you wake, you will find yourself in belly. All of this thing they see now, this convoluted grandstanding, this obfuscation, what they see, moral equivalence on the part of people, they created this. Now they call them out, they don't go trade and they go call them out, how great that. Or don't be a to Christian, but we know say when you say how great that out, Now that power they up here now, the yak na budu yak na style, the be all and end all, the alpha and omega, the only one we not get creator. Now no more would they say how great that. Me not go look any more time I tell you say how great that. No, now blasphemy are the most fundamental, character. All of this in non-drop. So when they can say, if you go now, bush for go cut stick, then the tick turn back equis you, plaba no deal. Now you ba jump a might go na John rest. So they need for let John let that poor mammy they suffer. But one thing I tell God, thank you. The Liberian people then, John the great English, the great philosopher Martin Luther King talk now say. He said not to the hurtful actions of we enemies they matter. He said that the loud silence of we friends them. But thank God that may get good friends them. The Liberian people then come after them. I don't know if you hear that part of the audio, but we hear them. They even warn them. They not tell them who's they know side it. And they not say they not go take this from them anymore. So if they mean let John let this mommy out of this, left her out of this. The mommy get a right to free speech. Even if that mammy go talk say Hitler have been the best leader in the country, I mean like you say you're entitled to your opinion, but you don't get control over the facts. We know say Hitler not to have been the best leader, we know that. But still you get the right for talk that all day. Now you right standing. Obviously enough, I go na the right chase and so you come on the left chase. Because me, say Hitler not to be in the best leader. If the Western Alliance been listen to Winston Churchill, say we have Mr. Hitler not to reasonable man. No, we don't be forget World War II. But because they don't listen to in warning, by telling when they come to realization, World War II was on mankind. We so to go through. So we don't advise to Sylvia, please leave that mommy out. Concentrate you copious energy on the institution that be not built. And may wait to be not turn the man to a God. So you don't try something to do. So look, we don't support you say in a very unfortunate situation, and the hope is not go happen, and the hope is you go listen to the advice where they don't give. Like the man, they play. Men know they play. They people they know they play. Because what they do to Samiedo, Asiam. So you don't joke with those people there. So with that, I hand the baton over again to you, sir.
Yeah. So enough said about that. I will hope we will move to the last but not least, but this is an area of philanthropy. And we get a video of someone where they California, where they try for give, who's been doing a lot of philanthropic things, them Salone, to various communities in the country. So I will just ask the control room for play briefly, like for a minute. The gentleman will identify himself and let us listen there, we'll go make a comment, and that will be the last topic for the day.
Kansera na a very good community school where they live now at Salone, Yaso. But they say we don't undertake some feeding projects where they feed school picking them. That's the big allegory where they be in this whole thing here. So by the grace of God, they with you now today. Welcome, sir. Your name and who that's now you, sir?
Raymond Sawyer from California, United States of America.
All right. Mr. Sawyer, somebody go on for ask why you come Kansera for handle this thing from overseas?
Well, I picked Kansera because I've been seeing the ad television over there in California, so I call, I inquire, and I do some research, and I believe they keep things on the up and up and straightforward, and I mean, as for see some of the books left, as I said, the accounting been correct, so I decided for invest in the school for can help feed the picking them and start this feeding program.
All right, somebody will go think otherwise go feel say probably you get any political interest or you get any interest. What's not the reason why you really do this?
No, my political interest in California. Okay, my politics in California, but I believe say na my hometown this. I don't give so much in the United States, so I believe say I will come back and give to my roots. Okay, now I born and I left Sierra Leone 1983. I go back now the America. So I believe say I can help me on picking them. Okay, I don't get no interest in Sierra Leone politics. I'm not about that. My politics don't pass me yet. Okay, I'm here for the children. The election, even while I've been win California now about schools. I'm all about children. I'm all about being a role model for the kids. So if I sacrifice my time over there, I believe say I for come here so and sacrifice and do for the picking them in my own country.
Can Sierra not happen for be the only school? Now we're not deprived school also now this community. Any intention for expand this school feeding project to other schools?
Well, I've been there with another school where they Freetown at Gloucester. Okay, so sometimes I can help them with their feeding with their lunch programs, or sometimes I go there. But right now I kind of focus in Cancera because I look their background, and I them be able to open them books to me, and I see say then they do things on the up and up.
You don't spend so much millions. Somebody go out for acts. Now you pocket the common or you get sponsors them. Are you the raise there from there so for can do them projects there?
Directly from the pocket, for me and my family from the pocket. Okay. And me and my wife, now we money, now we they take, can do this, okay? Just like I can tell people, I left Salone with $175. That's 3 times a day, I dey sleep, okay? But where God bless me, so I dey bless other people. I'm a businessman, I get restaurants in California. So my business, God bless me for business. So you cannot take money with you. You go die and left money. So I rather invest them to picking them where benefits them, and especially underprivileged picking them.
We see you give plenty gifts then. What's in some parents in their way give to school picking them, teachers then, and even the people where they cook for the picking them?
Well, I believe say the people then where they on the bottom line, on the front line, thank you most of the time forget about them. So the people then where they cook, the parents where they cook, I give them some money, I give them cash for encourage them. Then you come to the teachers, people like you tend to forget them because not them. You get to motivate them in order for them to motivate the children them. So I give them self cash, okay, all the teachers them. Then also for the picking them, we adopt 150. By myself, where the 115, I mean, they take care of them. So I bring supply for them, a package of supply for them. Then also the principal, we take care of the principal and the headmistress, because we know say this is a lot of work for them for be able to handle them picking there. Now about 3,200 picking them. Yes.
All right. Somebody go on for ask this now a project. How long do you intend for continue? Is it going to stop for on this year no more? What's in our intention for continue with this school feeding project?
Now we don't do this with other school and but in a smaller one. Now it's an upscale. Okay, I do them last year as some people they know I come do them last year at a big quantity, the same thing. So every year when I come, most of the time my intention I for come for can see them picking and give back to the country where I come out from. So purposely they come every year and they do them every year. Even last year we are not be even there. We sent to the founder of the school for feed them for 10 feeding during the course of the year. Even when I not come, then when I come to I do them with myself live.
All right. Finally, Mr. Sawyer, what do you expect in return after we do all this with regards education, particularly from the teachers then?
I don't expect nothing personally from it, but what I expect is education, just like how the president himself, President Madabio, the way he don't put money into education, free education. Myself want to give me a small token towards the picking them. And I hope say all the people themselves will come out Sierra Leone. Not to say I get money, but I believe say education are the future of the country. Now I make the president himself put money there, he give them free education. So then at the norm of the day, you get for educate the picking them in order for the country to move forward. And we won't forget educated picking them that the country we will go be proud for. We go don't die go, but we want for still put Sierra.
All right, I think that's enough. So people in Munaderi, the reason why we play this, we don't even know the gentleman, but we think it's a news worthy of people in knowing, because the thing is, there are lots of good Australians around the world. within the diaspora, we get good intention, we try for help in the only two ways. And there are a lot of Salonians we know clearly say politics is not the only means by which we can render assistance. As a matter of fact, through politics, we're not able to distinguish the personal assistance, because if you're a minister and you carry on ministerial functions, that does not tell us anything about you as a person. Like a guy like this, when in your money, and not get no duty or responsibility for do this. Unlike a minister who is in charge of certain positions, we can't tell whether he's a good man or he's only doing it because he's job down there. So we should take people like this very, very highly. We should be appreciative of their concern. And like a lot of us, some of these people, they just feel say, in any only to way them for give back to the country where they come out, like the man say, and not saying that the school and we go, and not say the other communities the way at where they help, he get community, other than the fact that he say in Atina Wataloman. But he's been helping people in the regions, in a different area. So this speaks volume. And I'm also encouraging the powers to be the government. We will therefore take note of people like this, like Dr. Roland Touré, and where they do similar things in Bombali district. People like these should be recognized, and if we expose more of them prepared to the rest of because then they serve as good example. We're going to encourage some of we not be to think of how for utilize the money to good deeds, where they will see this example and then say, well, oh yeah, right, yes, what I could do with my money. Because we, back home, what you will know, because there are so many people who don't die and go. Wealthy people live. People who could have done very well for society, but they didn't know any better. Because we just believe, say, if you're a Muslim, you just buy 6, 10 cows, you kill them, you pull sarai, you feed people, and for one day you've done well. But no, this is the right way to go about it. You see, because like the saying goes, if you give a person a bowl of rice, you feed them for one day. But if you teach them how to grow rice, you feed them forever. But not only you feed him forever, you feed generations after him. So this is why, so this man is putting his money into good use. And he say, in feel blessed. And this is what a lot of food is saying here. America get a lot, they got an abundance of smart, successful people. America get thousands of billionaires. They get thousands of millionaires. They get plenty of everything. So for some of who will come out on the other part of the world, we come, we will be small, what people who want left for people for car abroad, and he said, remember how you left home. So some of we remember how we left home, particularly when home look worse than we be left and where we left. So some of we get that sense of concern, that will not lose with connection. In fact, some of who were still to talk Creole for all the years who would have been there, people and say, you don't lost your accent. You Creole still good. Of course, some of you will say, well, why should we? We're not the foreign water we turn fish. So, but we just showed a man like this, we'll show a man like Dr. Touré, and there was a lady who began through Professor Kutubu, with the Pennsylvania, who be trying for help some woman and some hurt. We strongly encourage people and we get good intention for do good deeds for community, for people. Please, we hope this will serve as a stepping stone for future philanthropic activity. And there are many, many, many other people, some of whom no one other catch your attention, but you get the Australian nurses, you get certain health workers, the way they come in America, they go give free medical care, blood pressure, this, that, to citizens them in a different part, different districts in the country. So kudos to those people. And I think when I bring them to our attention, if there are videos about these people, we will learn to give a shout out. We will try for adopt now a platform for the give shout out to these people. Because one of them say then goodness or then kindness is not in vain. Thank you very much, Professor. I don't know if you get any comment on that.
Well, yeah, in a sense, the most unfortunate thing where I hear now, where that so-called reporter go ask the man about in political, intention. I mean, I got the great English philosopher William Shakespeare. He said, "Where a man open his mouth, you actually know you will measure intelligence." The man go act on which John Kennedy been talk now, January 20, 1961, where he tell everybody say, "No ask what in this country I go do for you. Ask what you go do." That code they don't resonate just around the world. People are going. For example, Dr. Fuad Shelf said they go open the cotton tree pharmacy. They don't go open them. In fact, they try for extender now for go now other person. Mr. Senesi, I think we don't interview Mr. Senesi. He will go home like Kailang, and they come out. That job we chief of they come up. Baima, something like Baima. They don't go up to school, church, everything for them. Where for now retired. In fact, like when they talk about this water shortage, Mr. Senesina, a retired engineer from where they don't go Valley now, but they call her WSSC. If only the government can get foresight for talk to a man like that, the man and then they go talk to the young, how they go able to help about the engineer, how for engineer water business go down country because he worked for the people that take retire, so now they do it. So, like you talk about, philanthropy, you get people there. Not to everybody who want to go inside politics. Not to everybody. We need for that, like you talk about Roland Tree, now the same thing happened to Roland Tree. As soon as the man said, because we enter bring him for interview, they say, well, if he try for run out for parliament, if he did do it is not everybody who is of that man. What two we say they do so now? Now your contribution is all they give back to society. For example, you're a lawyer, you 6 days a week, you're involved in this law business. The one day we get, when a Sunday for the family, you're here. You hear what you do. You also they give your contribution because you they help we, you they enlighten we, you they show we things. Then that's your own contribution. You they also they give back to society gratis. Until people they understand that there's more beyond politics. I think the reason why people are hung up to that this corruption because they're the only inside that way they go get, where they work for. So if you say everybody, as soon as you start to the aim we get now in politics, how for run for be president, how for run for be mayor, how for run for be MP. No, it's not everybody of the day. So Lord tell that man, Mr. Sawyer, will tell about Bokutenki. These are the patriotisms we're talking about. And by God's power, these are the people that we will highlight, we'll talk about them. So let's say, they know, hey, you get people there, now they call the silent majority. They might not be talking, but the actions that speaks louder. What do they do? Louder than they big mouthed fellow, they show both they bagado show, and all that they we need other than empty palpable emptiness. So I'm glad you were able to identify, that Monday, and we continue. Then you want to look for people there. No, they are so that go act as a incentive for other people there. Because when they say, when we say go on today tomorrow, they call me saying that this I don't do. It's not that they run camo, but at least no, they highlight them. So let be. So with that, I want to thank you very much for the successful conduct of the show. You hand in a van. I mean, it was consistently good to excellent. We cannot ask for anything, short of that. And me personally, I'm very enamored. So I think even now, one take this opportunity for tell listeners them and then that by God power, they can transition into another area and our viewers. But by God power, you guys will continue to be very safe in the hands of Mr. Salone and we lead host. Hopefully, when Fatima come, that will be my last bit. It will be my last show. Then I transition to I want to tell management for the opportunity they don't give me for let now begin another thing. So with that, I hand back the baton to you for let you consolidate everything we don't do now today into context and perspective when I go see we outside.
Well, thank you very much, Professor, as always. Um, and I also thank the audience. And so please tune in next time, next week, Sunday at 3. We will come with other perspectives and topics. And if when I think say there are things to be called to our attention, either by contacting us directly or through social media, or we do our best for catch up with which is going Australian and bring as much to the diaspora as well as back home as possible. So with that said, have a very nice evening for the rest of. Thank you.